Thank you for listening. This is Chris Emke, and you're listening to the Diesel Performance Podcast. Today, guys, we have a really special treat. We have another UCC competitor going into 2025. Without further ado, Colt Carter. Colt, how the hell are you, man?
Doing good. How are y'all?
You know, we're excited. You know, as of now, UCC is, I think, 8 days away, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's definitely 8 days away. If I need to go ahead and get my calendar, I can give you the hours, minutes, and a second.
Well, we're going to dive into that. I know for us, you know, as a sponsor to UCC, not only from the podcast but from Calibrated Power, there's a lot that we have going in the last couple weeks leading up to the show. You know, having a booth, being a vendor of, and whatnot. But I couldn't imagine being a competitor in UCC. Before we dive into that, why don't you give some of our listeners who maybe haven't heard of you or hadn't seen UCC last year a little background on you, how you got into diesel performance?
2007, I started my own business, Black Magic Performance, over in East Texas.
Okay.
I started working on diesel pickups because at that time my family had a ranch, and of course, I was always fascinated with the diesel pickups, tractors, stuff like that. And my first truck was actually an old 12-valve.
Okay.
Which everybody loves, and I started playing with it.
What year was it?
You know, it was a 96 model.
Okay. I had an 89 to start, so I kind of went up in generations. But that seems to be kind of like the starting point for a lot of us guys, especially in our age bracket.
That is correct. Yes, sir. Yeah, and I had definitely had a lot of fun with it, for sure.
So tractors, Cummins, inline motors, right? I always call the Cummins motor a tractor motor in a pickup.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and M14s, straight 5.9s, common rails. I mean, pretty much the whole 9 yards. Any kind of, even, you know, Detroit DT66 models. Okay. I mean, I was all fascinated with all them kind of year models at that point in time. And now, you got to love the old IDIs. I mean, you have to love them.
Whether you drive them or not, right, or you love them or not, you got to have respect for it, because if it wasn't for those platforms, it wouldn't have been able for us to build into what we have technology-wise today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I totally agree on that one. I mean, the good thing about the IDIs, I mean, you ain't getting nowhere fast no time soon, but I can promise you it would definitely pull a trailer. We may see you in a couple of days, but you'll make it eventually.
And they don't break. They're very low operation costs, to say the least.
Very true. You could pour, you know, gasoline in the daggum truck, and it would just still run. It would just be amazing.
Now, how do you pivot from that starting point, right, to, you know, competing into or wanting to throw your hat into a competition like UCC now?
Well, believe it or not, I mean, the funny story of UCC last year, I don't know who actually entered me up in it.
Oh.
I didn't have no recollection of anything.
Okay.
I actually had a phone call that, you know, hey, congratulations, you're in this. And at that point in time, I was eating with my guys. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I just blew it off and hung up on them. And next thing you know, it's like 15 minutes later goes on down the road. My phone just keeps blowing up like you just want to throw it out the window. And I started digging into it and found out that, somebody did. They entered me up in it. And then at that point in time, it was 30 days. We didn't actually start working on the truck for, I'm going to say 18 days before the event. The truck was sitting on the frame at that point in time.
Okay. Now, we'll dive into that now. What's the truck? What did you compete with last year?
The truck is a 2006 Dodge Ram 2500. It was the original 5.9 48RE four-wheel drive. I actually bought that truck for the shop itself so we could have a parts truck back and forth.
Okay.
Next thing you know, we started getting a little slow, getting bored. We started playing with the truck, making it faster. Next thing you know, it went from ET brackets to 670 class to 70 classes to 620s. I mean, we never thought we was going to actually build a truck like this ever at all.
Now, when you started, you know, the bracket racing and stuff like that, how many years or how long ago did you start doing that to evolve to where it is now?
I would say I started that in back of 2011.
Oh.
2010, and that was actually with was one of my favorite trucks was a 2003 Cat Eye LB7 single cab 4-wheel drive 3/4 ton.
Okay.
And I mean it actually turned out real good from 2011 from bracket racing till I'm gonna say 2018. From 2018 and now, I mean, I usually do a lot of street racing.
Okay.
I have more fun at street racing.
So
Because in the diesel world at that point in time, you had to really have some really good deep pockets, or you knew somebody that could get you in the door, that you could build a good friendship, a relationship with that customer.
So now when you say street racing, you're talking racing cars, not necessarily racing other diesel trucks, Friday nights,
Correct.
industrial fields, going out, burning some tires.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be Friday night. Sometimes it'd be Wednesday night, middle of midnight. I'd get a text, say, hey, this guy wants to go ahead and line up with you, and we'd make a bet, and usually it's never a good outcome for
So
whoever it was.
you're basically underground street outlaw style stuff on the east side of Texas.
That is correct. Yeah, that's all I do. I have more fun that way.
It's more thrilling.
More entertaining. It's more entertaining for me because that means I get to really force my truck down a no prep surface.
Right. Well, there's more of a driver aspect of it that takes place. Correct. Instead of being on a prep surface in a controlled track, right, for you to go A to B.
That is correct. Yes.
I guess with that, do you think that that's helped kind of transform or prepared you to, I mean, you placed second last year, right, UCC. So first year you placed second place. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
So do you think that the street racing and some of that background kind of prepared you for, doing well at UCC, or not so much?
I would say yes. I mean, because even street racing, I mean, you always have to prep, 24/7, 7 days a week, it feels like.
Yeah.
And, that takes a lot out of a person or a company or even your buddies at that standpoint, because they're dedicated just like you are to that vehicle.
Okay. So from 2024 into 2025, again, 8 days away, are you changing anything up from the setup that got you so far last year? Or are you kind of leaving things the same? What can you kind of fill the listeners in going into this?
No, this year we're actually running a Hamilton block D&J head, where you are doing D&J rods, wrist pins, 14 main girdle on bottom. On that motor, the truck is just got back from chassis. I'm going to say 2.5 weeks ago. We went ahead and did a 4-link on the back, cut the frame a little bit, took a bunch of shock towers out of the front, did a rack and pinion steering. I mean, a lot has changed with this truck drastically since last year from what it is. So as of right now, we don't even have, seat time in the truck. We just finally got it fired up just a couple of days ago.
Well, how from last year, right? You were announced, you were approached 30 days out. You said you wrenched on it for 18 days straight. How prepared were you last year for the truck to be together prior to going to UCC?
Prior to UCC, at that point in time, I'm going to say, the truck, it was actually just sitting on a frame at that point. We built the motor, me and Matthew Parker over at Parker's Performance, one of my good buddies. And we built the motor. He does the transmission work on it. He does the tuning. I mean, he's just a wizard at anything he touches. He's pretty savvy at. I mean, he's a wizard at.
Okay.
So, I mean, there was definitely a lot of strong nights, a lot of days. And an event like this, a lot of people just don't understand how much it really takes out of a person, of the stress. And, at the same time, owning a business, you got cash money flowing in, going out, and then still trying to get that same hobby done at the same time.
Do you think it takes away from the hobby?
It does.
Being a business owner, and I mean, I'm sure you have employees and things like that, right?
Right. And there's a lot of things that I actually have to sacrifice from me pushing forward so I can keep my customers happy and keep at the end of the day, keep bills flowing in and out.
Right. I mean, it's basic economics, right? The business has to stay afloat
Correct.
for you to be able to support something like this.
Correct.
Now, how long? You said you just fired up the truck, so that you don't have seat time, test time in the truck. Do you plan on getting any seat time, or is the test and tune going to be next Friday at UCC?
Well, no, our game plan is by Saturday or Sunday of this weekend, we're actually going to go ahead and put it on the dyno and try to dial the truck in and see where it's happy at. And then right after, I think we're probably going to do a couple of outlaw hits to get some 60-foot and 330-foot hits so we can actually dial the truck in and see how it's going to plant. If I can make it plant on a non-prep service, good luck catching me on a prep trip.
I was literally just thinking the same thing.
So, that's my biggest deal. If I can get my truck to hook up on a asphalt road, good luck catching it on a prep. Good luck.
Now, it sounds like you've had a lot of background in drag racing, street racing. Have you had a lot of seat time on the dyno?
Well, I've not had a lot on the dyno itself yet. I'm still doing the learning curve, and trying to figure out the balance of the sweep, RPM, where do I bring in the nitrous, when do I start holding the brake, carrying it in. And like I say, Matthew Parker, he's been helping me out, coaching me a lot on little things like that. Now, the sled pulling part, that was the first try last year.
Oh, so your first sled pull, you placed second in sled pull.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. You think that's beginner's luck, or you just think you're just a natural?
Well, believe it or not, when I was a young kid, I used to get whooped all the time because I'd hook, farm equipment up to a pickup and I'd just take off.
There you go.
So I think I had a lot to do to play with that, at that point in time.
Yeah. Now, I would say learning more and more. I've driven trucks on the dyno, not at the caliber you're at, but 600, 700, 800 horsepower trucks on the dyno. I've sled pulled. I think sled pulling's a ton of fun. Drag racing is always a good time. But at the caliber that UCC is at, there is a sequence of events that need to take place for driving that truck of that caliber on the dyno correctly.
That is correct. And like my truck itself, every event that we go into, we're swapping automatically. We're swapping axles. We're swapping transfer cases. That truck is... There's a lot of competitors out there that has their same setup, and it works for them. But for us, we swap our axles, the front, the rear. We do the whole 9 yards.
No. Out of everything that happened last year for you, going into UCC 2025, is there anybody that you're looking at as kind of like under your radar of like, hey, that this guy's going to be tough to beat, or is that not really how you go into this contest?
I'm not really going in that contest like that. In my opinion, everybody that is in that event, they're there for a reason. They're there to win. And in my opinion, I give every one of them respect, just like Josh McCormick, Chris Patterson, Michael Brown. They're all going to do great. The thing about it is, it's going to be, this is a dogfight. It's what it's going to be. It's going to be a 100% dogfight for them 3 days. Yes, it is a marathon, but at that same time, when, you got competitors in the tents and they're just trashing, trying to get trucks done, it is a very tedious 3 days.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned bringing axles and swapping out axles. Are you one of those guys? Are you bringing? We've interviewed guys that are bringing spare deck-plated engines, guys that are bringing extra transmissions, guys that are bringing extra turbochargers. Like, what's the backup look like?
The backup, the old motor is from last year. I call that motor the Old Faithful because I've whooped a living dog pee out of it. and it takes it. It really takes it. We actually took a 75 Charger off the other day, and I got some pictures sent to me, and it was supposed to be a T6 exhaust manifold, and inside the exhaust manifold was just pretty much melted. There was no It was just straight open, and it was never open. So it had a divider in it. Well, it didn't have a divider after we took it off. That's how hot it got. But I mean, we got the Old Faithful motor, where I'm actually going ahead and picking it up actually tomorrow. I've got a transmission getting built right now from Wizard Work Diesel right here in Kemp, Texas, and one of my good buddies. And if it wasn't for, all my sponsors and my good buddies to help me out to get me where I'm at, it would never be possible. I mean, the thing about it is I've got a lot of weight on my shoulders because I want to prove to everybody that, hey, this truck is competitive. We don't have to be some name brand company out there.
No, I think, again, the general consensus going into UCC, especially the last couple of years, a lot of the bigger shops have they're there to support like the new era of diesel competitors in a sense, I feel.
Correct.
And,
yes.
Gives some fresh blood and a fresh set of lenses, on, the next chapter of diesel performance.
That is totally correct. Just like, for instance, last year, when we went to that event, I did not take anything, no extra parts, no nothing.
Oh.
What we had is what we had.
Wow.
I mean, and we shelled a transfer case. We went up another 100 RPMs on the limiter. It did not like it. And lucky Chris Patterson, he offered a transfer case up.
He's a good dude.
We would have been done. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a really
good guy.
Wow. But that was all out of everything last year. That's all that you had go sideways on you.
That was it. Yep,
wow.
Transfer case. And when you see the video, when it broke the tire and shook the tire, you could see where I stabbed it again, thinking, well, to hell with it. I'm going to keep trying going, It didn't go nowhere. It went straight to the wall. So it was kind of like a bummer. I mean, but the thing about it is we kind of knew at that point in time that, we had to start being a little bit more progressive, quit being quiet. And, yes, that somewhat kind of hurt me a little bit on the transfer case. But, yeah. I mean, on a dyno session, that was a crazy event because, I was the only one at that standpoint on a roller trying to put big power while it's raining.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think of it that way.
Was wild by itself.
Now, after a whole year gone by, right, competed 2024, did you ever find out who signed you up for this last year? A sponsor, a buddy, a beer drinking buddy? Nothing?
I thought it was one of my other sponsors, but I mean, I just couldn't get a 100% answer on it.
I think that just.
I mean, I'm still up in the blue about it. I mean,
I think that just means that you have the recognition in the streets, and someone wanted to see you, move forward.
Right. And I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
Whoever it was, I mean, I'm still grateful for that. I mean, that was a great opportunity, and meeting all the fans and stuff. I didn't think I had as many fans as what I did when I was there.
Yeah.
And it was definitely amazing because, I mean, in my opinion, even a young person trying to get in this industry, they see, hey, you don't have to be the big dog.
No,
this guy is doing it. He's enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, I've always
and I'm trying to give that a little bit of knowledge to all these young drivers, competitors out here.
I always feel like back in the early era of diesel, in the performance end of it, and Diesel Power Mag and Diesel World, those were kind of like the outlets for diesel information, right? And there was always this like illusion of like, hey, 800 horsepower daily driver tow rig, but they never ever really talked about like the shortcomings of like, hey, that truck's going to eat a trans a year, that truck is going to eat universal joints once a year, or a drive shaft or this or that, to where now everything is a lot more publicized, right? It's a lot more public knowledge, and it's guys like you, like guys that are diehards, right? Like you are a hobbyist in diesel performance, and you were lucky enough to make that an income stream for you. And you prove that you're a hobbyist in doing it because, I mean, shit, man, it looked like you had some fun. It looked like you had fun last year in the interviews that I saw. I mean, that was the first I had heard and seen of you. And it was just like, man, it was very contagious. I was happy watching you be happy and having fun.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely, it's never, I mean, when we actually went, like I said, we didn't expect anything. Like I told my team, I go, we'll be happy if we even make, top 15, top 10.
Right.
Be tickle pink. And I kind of screwed up a little bit on the sled pulling. I should have got it in a little bit more aggressive and held more nitrous down. But I had a great time, and I learned a lot from a lot of customers, a lot of fans. Building my company, building for what it is as of now. It's a roller coaster. It's a wild ride.
So, UCC 2025, what's a win for you? What are you going in expecting, or what's the goals?
I've thought about that in my head, and I've talked to my guys about it. We have a pretty good high number that we really want to put down. I mean,
anything you want to throw out there and say publicly, or you kind of want to just keep it close to the chest for now?
Well, I mean, I'll throw it out there. I mean, everybody wants to see that 3,000 horsepower plus.
Okay.
Everybody does. But my biggest deal is I want to try to fill everybody out. I still want to be that nice, calm, cool, collective guy way in the back and, watch everybody's ego kind of blow up. And when that happens is usually when I'm like, all right, now it's time to start chopping heads. Let's start moving up the line.
Kick them when they're down. So, I got it.
That's it. I mean, and I don't want to be like that, but at the end of the day, it is a smarter way to watch everybody else. You can prepare for yourself what you have to do.
Yeah, I mean, why swing for the fences if you don't necessarily have to? And I mean, the reality of it is, from a competitive perspective, if you're not going to be that way, somebody else is.
That is right. So they're going to do that every single time. And if not, why are we trying to, do something fun like this? I
mean, UCC, right? Why be conservative? Right. I mean, this event wasn't built off of being conservative. It's swinging for the fences.
That is correct. That's all it is. It is 100% Super Bowl.
Awesome.
I mean, you're not going to find a event like this ever.
No,
not in my opinion. Last year it was so wild. I mean, there's so many competitors. Even in with Levon and all them. Levon's a super nice guy. Do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
I met so many good people there. It's definitely wild out there.
No, it's nice to see at the top level, right? I'd consider UCC the Super Bowl in a sense of the diesel performance, where most people, most competitors, most companies all in one place for a weekend. But it's nice to see the camaraderie amongst all the competitors and the teams and the companies kind of all come together, and it's more of like a family in a sense, right? Everybody's there for the greater cause of diesel. Yep. At the end of the day.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, just like for instance, me and Josh, we go back and forth every now and then, and I always give him a time cutout date. Hey, you only got these many days,
right?
And it really don't help when I get it back from him thinking, well, damn, I got so much stuff to get done. I'm not even nowhere near close as they are.
No. I mean, and we've seen in the past where competitors have had their trucks together for, weeks or months, and it's a flop when they show up. And we've seen competitors where they were wrenching on the truck and test tuning the truck on the way out to UCC, and they rose to the occasion and shined. Like, I don't know if there's like a proper recipe for, what it takes to be successful, other than being goal-oriented, being that right. It's something that you truly enjoy and care for and love. There's guys that don't sleep the entire weekend making sure their trucks are in tip-top shape and, having that competitive mindset.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, especially the last 30 days for that kind of event. I mean, I can't speak for everybody else, but I can speak for myself that me and my good buddies that, trash with me to get this truck done, there's no sleep in the game. I mean, you can sleep when you're dead because you ain't getting no sleep. Not in them 30 days. It's not happening.
No, I have a feeling like for you at least, it's got to be that last 30 days. It's just straight tunnel vision. Like, hey, let's just get to that weekend. You don't want it to go by so fast, but you just want to get there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I totally agree on that one because, like, right now, I don't know if I can afford any more gray hairs right now. I mean,
I don't know, man. I'd rather have the gray hairs than no hair. I'm losing mine, so.
I don't know. I think I could probably pull the, Dwayne Johnson move off, maybe.
Okay. Well, maybe if you
The
win
gray
this,
hair just don't work for me, I don't think.
maybe if you win this year, that's the celebratory thing to do is Dwayne Wayne it afterwards.
Well, then I'd look like X-Men if I did it. So it'd be my luck.
Oh, man. Well, we appreciate you taking the time. Are there anyone you would want to give a special thanks to, sponsors, friends that are helping along the way?
Yes, I do. It'd be Flux, Don, and April. They've helped me out drastically. I mean, they're the best people that you probably ever do business with. And I would definitely give them a lot of gratitude. I couldn't thank enough from them. I've got Parker Performance over at Bryan College Station. He's been trashing on this truck from day one. After I've got it back, I sent it to him, and he's going through the whole entire truck. And then I've got Wizard Work Diesel over in Kemp, Texas. Cameron, he's actually built an extra transmission for me right now. And of course, we got extra D pumps, and then we got Hot Shot Secret. We couldn't do it without their oil and all their lubricant in this vehicle.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting you, shaking your hand at UCC this upcoming weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing the truck compete.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be pretty good, especially the new nitrous setup. That's going to be nitrous outlet kits.
Okay.
So you ain't probably seen something like what we're doing right now on it.
Well, maybe when we're down there we get some photos and maybe we do a short interview while we're down there and kind of go from there.
Definitely sounds good.
Beautiful. Well, we appreciate you taking the time, Colt.
Thank y'all very much. Y'all have a nice day.
Thank you.
Young kid, I mean, I used to get whooped all the time because I'd hook, farm equipment up to a pickup and I'd just take off.
There you go.
Well,